Hello. Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn classification of contract. Welcome to NDS coaching, all the knowledge you need. Already we have done with this in the previous lectures. Now we are going to learn about classification of contract. So again, on the basis of validity, on the basis of formation and any other type of contracts, these different classifications have been given in the Indian Contract Act. Lastly, on the last slide, I have taken some times which have been inscribed in the English Contract Act, but all these are the first 3 slides are according to Indian Contract Act. The A category, that is on the basis of validity, The first classification is valid contract. So already we have done with elements of the valid contracts, different essentialities of the valid contracts. Okay. So agreement which has all the essential elements of a contract is called a valid contract. So what are those essentialities? 2 parties are there, free consent should be there, objectives, lawful objectives should be there, lawful consideration should be there. So all these elements which I have already studied, if those elements are present in a particular agreement, then that contract is called as a valid contract. Okay, so valid contract can be enforced by law. Both the parties have their respective rights under that particular contract. If anyone is violating the right, then definitely another party, the opposite party, can enforce his or her rights in a court of law. That is called as again enforceability. So once again, so it doesn't need any explanation or examples. Valid contracts are those which are having all those elements which are essential to be a valid contract. Those are called as a valid contract. Already we have studied. The next comes void agreement. A void agreement is a contract which ceases to be, remember this, which ceases to be enforceable by law. If any act to be done under any contract is opposed to the public policy under any contract, that contract itself cannot be enforced under the law. So some agreements are there which are ab initio void. Those cannot be enforceable in India in any court because the parties who are entering into the contract are doing something which is opposed to the public policy, Agreement in restraint of trade, agreement in restraint of marriage, because right to start any business, right to start any trade, this right is given in the Constitution of India. So every citizen of India has a right to start his own profession, his own trade, his own any business. If any agreement is there between the parties which is stopping another party to start any trade, so that is against the public policy. So any such agreement which are opposing the party to enjoy his or her right, those all agreements are void agreements. Those are the void agreements. Some agreements originally valid, but due to change in some events, due to change in some circumstances, they may become void. It's not possible to enforce in a court of law. So void agreements are there, but it cannot be the void contract. Can you see this difference? I have written valid contract, but I have written void agreement. If the agreement is ab initio void, how it can become the contract? Suppose I am saying that the minor cannot enter into the contract. Minor cannot enter into the contract. A lunatic person or an idiot person cannot enter the contract. Okay. And if someone is a major person who is entering into the contract with the minor, it is ab initio void. प्रथमदर्शनी असे कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट हे वाईड आहेत, ते कुठल्याही कोर्टामध्ये स्टँड होणार नाही आहेत आणि म्हणून त्याला आपण वाईड ऍग्रीमेंट म्हटलेलं आहे. कारण जेव्हा वाईड ऍग्रीमेंट असतं तर कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट होण्याचा प्रश्नच नाहीये, ऍग्रीमेंटच मुळात वाईड आहे. आलं लक्षात. पण काही काही वेळेला काय होतं, कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट फॉर्मेशनच्या वेळेला ते व्हॅलिड असतं, पण काही इव्हेंट्स असे घडतात. आलं लक्षात. जेव्हा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट करताना माणूस चांगला होता पण एखादा ऍक्सिडेंट फेस केला आणि तो नंतर वेडा झाला, तर आता इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू इन्फोर्स दॅट पर्टिक्युलर कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट. सो ऑब्विसली फॉर्मेशनच्या वेळेला व्हॅलिड होतं पण नंतर काय झालं, वाईड झालं. असंही होऊ शकतं. So wide agreements, remember that those are not enforceable under any court of law. Those all agreements are called as a wide agreements. The third comes violable contracts. Violable, an agreement which is enforceable by law at the option of one or more of the parties thereto. ज्या कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये एखादा पार्टी किंवा अनेक पार्टी हे जेन्युइन आहेत, त्यांच्या बाजूने झालेलं एग्रीमेंट हे जेन्युइन आहे, पण नॉट ऍट द ऑप्शन ऑफ अदर और अदर पार्टीज. पण दुसरी लोक जे आहेत ना, ती व्यवस्थित कॉन्ट्रॅक्टचे जे ऑब्लिगेशन्स आहेत ते कॅपेबल नाही आहेत आणि म्हणून ते वायोडेबल होणार आहे. कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट काय होणार आहे, वायोडेबल. सपोज आपण काय सांगितलं, इसेन्शियल एलिमेंट्स ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये कन्सेंट ही फ्री पाहिजे. कन्सेंट ही फ्री पाहिजे. कोणालाही फसवून किंवा एखाद्या बंदुकीचा धाक दाखवून किंवा चीट करून दुसऱ्याची सही घेणं आणि त्याला कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये काहीतरी थ्रेटनिंग करून, जर कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये सही केला नाहीस तर मी तुझ्या मुलाला किडनॅप करतो, नाहीतर मी तुला असं करतो आणि तसं करतो, असं थ्रेटनिंग करून एखाद्याला तुम्ही कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये एंटर होण्यास भाग पाडलं असेल तर तो नंतर माणूस त्यावेळेला काय करू शकेल, सही करेल. कारण तो जीवाला घाबरतो, स्वतःच्या मुलाला किडनॅप करतील म्हणून घाबरतो, सही करतो. पण नंतर तो स्टँड घेऊ शकतो की जेव्हा मी सही केलो तेव्हा मी अंडर इन्फ्लुएन्स होतो, तेव्हा मला फसवून सही घेतलेली आहे, तेव्हा मला बंदुकीचा धाक दाखवून, सुरीचा धाक दाखवून सही घेतलेली आहे आणि मला ते काही आता कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट पूर्ण करायचं नाही, असं तो कोर्टामध्ये जाऊ शकतो. येते लक्षात. म्हणजे तो आता ते कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट पूर्ण करणार नाहीये. असे कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट जे आहे, म्हणून मी सांगितलं तुम्हाला, इफ द फ्री कन्सेंट इज अब्सेंट इन अ कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट, ऑल दोज कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स आर वायोडेबल, आर दोज विच आर इन्फ्लुएन्स्ड बाय द कोर्शन. कोर्शन म्हणजे फसवणूक आहे. अंडी इन्फ्लुएन्स म्हणजे स्वतःच्या एखाद्या मोठ्या पॉवरचा, एक सत्तेचा, एक पॉवर म्हणजे सत्ता, सत्तेचा वापर करून दुसऱ्याला इंडल्ज करणं त्या कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये, हेही वायोडेबल आहे. फ्रॉड न जर एखाद्याला सही करायला लावली तर तेही वायोडेबल आहे. मिसरिप्रेझेंटेशन खाली जर सही करायला लावली एखाद्या कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट वरती, म्हणजेच काय, हे गुड्स आहेत इंडियातले आणि सांगतोय काय अमेरिकेत मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग झालंय, म्हणजे मिसरिप्रेझेंटेशन करतो तो. लक्षात. आणि समोरच्या माणसाला वाटतं की अरे खरोखरच हे अमेरिकेत इम्पोर्टेड गुड्स आहेत अमेरिकेहून आणि म्हणून तो सही करतो. पण जेव्हा त्याला लक्षात येतं की दीज आर इंडियन गुड्स and whatever the terms of the goods are from the imported, so those are not, so obviously he can avoid the contract. म्हणून वायोडेबल कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स असं आपण त्याला म्हटलेलं आहे. म्हणजे जिथं फ्री कन्सेंट नाहीये, जिथं कन्सेंट ही कोर्शन न घेतलेली आहे, फ्रॉड न घेतलेली आहे, मिसरिप्रेझेंटेशन न घेतलेली आहे, मिस्टेक न घेतलेली आहे, अशा सगळ्या कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये समोरचा माणूस काय म्हणू शकतो, कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट कॅन्सल करू शकतो. म्हणून वायोडेबल आहे. असे कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स काय आहेत, ते वायोडेबल आहेत, बिकॉज कन्सेंट इज नॉट टेकन फ्रीली. कन्सेंट इज नॉट टेकन फ्रीली. नेक्स्ट येतं इल्लीगल कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स. आता इल्लीगल त्या नावातच बघा कसं आहे, द कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स आर नॉट लीगल. अ कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट इज इल्लीगल इफ इट इज फॉरबिडन बाय लॉ. लॉनच त्याला बंदी आणली असेल, असे कुठलेही ऍक्ट्सला बंदी आणली असेल तर ऑब्विसली असे जे कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स आहेत ते ऍब एनिशिओ म्हणजे प्रथमदर्शनीच ते वाईड आहेत. इफ इट इन्व्हॉल्व्स और इम्प्लाइज इंजुरी टू अ पर्सन or the property of another, or court regards it is immoral or opposed to the public policy. 4 contents are there, are 4 elements. See, if any act is supposed to do injury to any person, injury to any person's property, or if the court is regarding that particular act is immoral, then or पब्लिक पॉलिसीच्या अगेन्स्ट कुठले ऍक्ट जात असतील तर असे सर्व ऍग्रीमेंट्स हे एक्स्पेशली इंडियन पेनल कोड, चोरी करणे, रॉबरी करणे, आलं लक्षात, किंवा कायद्याच्या विरुद्ध एखादं ऍक्ट करणं, हे सगळ्या गोष्टी पनिशेबल आहेत आणि म्हणून ते इल्लीगल कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स आहेत. ऍब एनिशिओ प्रथमदर्शनीच ते वैध आहेत. येते लक्षात? दोज आर ऑल कॉल्ड एज अ इल्लीगल contracts. Okay, next, unenforceable, the agreement which is not enforceable, where a contract is good in the substance but because of some technical defect, काही टेक्निकल डिफेक्ट्स येतात की ज्यामुळं समोरची पार्टी कोर्टामध्ये त्याचे स्वतःचे राईट्स एन्जॉय करू शकत नाही आणि म्हणून या सगळ्या कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्सना आपण काय म्हणू शकतो? अनइन्फोर्सिएबल. आधी ते व्हॅलिड कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स असू शकतात बट प्रूफ्स नसतात, इव्हिडन्सेस नसतात, कागदपत्र नसतात, खरेदी पत्र नसतं, सेल डीड नसतं किंवा गिफ्ट डीड आहे, गिफ्ट डीड नसतं, म्हणजेच काय? प्रूफच्या अभावी, टेक्निकल इश्यू आहे, प्रूफच्या अभावी टेक्निकल डिफेक्ट आहे आणि दॅट्स वाय दोज कॅन नॉट बी इन्फोर्स्ड. Those cannot be enforced in any court of law, and so those contracts are unenforceable contracts. These contracts are neither void nor violable. ते void पण नाही आहेत, violable पण नाही आहेत, पण valid आहेत, पण समोरच्या माणसाला त्याचा हक्क बजावता येत नाहीये कारण टेक्निकल डिफेक्ट काय आहे? इव्हिडन्सेस नाही आहेत, त्याच्याकडे डॉक्युमेंट्स नाही आहेत आणि म्हणून दोज आर unenforceable. Got it? Next, on the basis of formation. Next part काय येतो? Just write down the points only. Later I will give you notes, but write down the points on the basis of formation. Okay? 1 minute. Express contracts. Express by the words written or spoken. The parties are expressing the terms of the contract. Parties are expressing the terms of the contract and they both parties are agreed upon those particular terms and conditions by written or by spoken words at the time of formation of the contract. Such contracts are called as an express contract. Such contracts are called as an express contract. Buyer, seller, both are entering into the contract. Both are dictating their own terms and conditions and both the parties are agreed upon those terms and conditions, maybe by oral or by written words. Such contracts are called as a express contract. The next comes implied contract. An implied contract is one which is inferred from the acts, performance or the conduct of the parties or from the circumstances of the cases. Already I have given you n number of examples. The bus standing on the bus stop, the water, okay, that water, purified water is selling, the coin, you just put the coin, get the water. Those are implied contracts. Climbing in the bus, if you want to go to the Kolhapur, then obviously you will climb. You will just catch the bus which is going to the Kolhapur. Your action is showing that you are entered into the contract. Or telephone, public telephone, both. Are you getting? You have already entered into the contract by your conduct. That is called as an implied contract. The next comes quasi contracts, where the citation is given circumstances. Some circumstances itself in the incidents creates the quasi contracts. A quasi contract is created by the law. Ab initio, here parties are not entering into the contract, but some circumstances, some events impose, the law impose on the party to perform his or her duty. So it is a legal obligation which is imposed on the party who is required to perform it. A quasi contract is based on the principle that a person shall not be allowed to enrich himself at the expense of another. I would give you one best example. Okay, I will give you a best example. In this quasi contract, what is the nature? There is no meeting of mind. There is no offer from the party. There is no acceptance from the party. There is no free consent at all. There is no intention to create the legal relationship between the parties. But parties still are imposed to perform their part of performances due to the law. Such contracts are called as a quasi contracts. So what is the example? Suppose X is ordered some goods on the Amazon. The Amazon boy, the delivery boy, came to his house to just deliver those goods. But now A is not in a home. That delivery boy has dispatched those goods in the neighbor's home. In the neighbor's home. The neighbor is Y. You can just consider Y is the neighbor. So what is the Y's duty? The Y's duty is that when A arrives in his home, the Y should return those goods which have been received from that delivery boy. That is his duty. That is moral duty. The law imposes a particular obligation on that neighbor to repay or to return back those goods, because he has not paid for those goods. Who has paid? Mr. A has paid for those goods. So obviously that Y or the another party, the neighbor, cannot enjoy those goods on the cost of A. Are you getting? So by default, some goods are received. So it is the duty of the receiver to give back those goods. Was there any contract between A and Y? No, but it is the Y's duty to give back the goods. This is called as a quasi contract. Law imposes the obligation on the party to repay the goods. Are you getting? Or to return the goods. Such contracts are called as a quasi contracts. Suppose another example I can give you. A supplies. A is the party. He supplies some necessities. What are the necessities? Clothing is there, food is there, shelter is there. Such necessities to B, who is incapable to enter into the contract. B may be the lunatic person, B may be the insane person, B may be the minor who cannot enter into the contract. But A has supplied some necessities to him. B has some property. B has some property. So what is the A's right? A's right is to reimburse the amount which is spent on the necessities of B. So he can reimburse from his property. There was no any original contract between A and B, but already A has spent some money on B because B is not competent person to enter into the contract, because he may be the insane person, he may be the minor person, but he has property. So from that property, A can reimburse his money which he has already spent. Are you getting? Such contracts are called as a quasi contracts. Okay. Now next we will see that on the basis of performance of the parties, the contract, the type of contract or the classification of the contract on the basis of the performance. The first one is executed. The name itself indicates that both the parties, okay, then executed contract is one in which both the parties have performed their respective obligations, their respective performances. A has sold the goods, B has paid the price. Okay, both A and B has got their respective consideration for the contract. Are you getting? So executed, both the parties have performed their respective part of performances. Such contracts are called as a executed contract. Next comes executory contract. An executory contract is one where one or both the parties to the contract, see once again, one or both the parties to the contract have still to perform their obligation in the future. It means what? In some contracts, A has performed, one party has performed, but another party yet to perform. Or in some contracts, both the parties have yet to perform their obligations in the future. So this unilateral contract and bilateral contract are the sub-classification of this executory contract. The same explanation will be given here. Uni means one. Unilateral contracts means what? It is one in which only one party has to perform his obligation at the time of the formation of the contract. When the contract is going to be formed, one party has performed his performance, but another party yet to perform his performance. Suppose, for example, one of the farmer who has taken a loan or the you can say advance money from some dealer, and he is promising to supply the agricultural product after the harvesting, after you can say some 6 months. So one party has already given the advances, so that party has performed his promise, but another party, that farmer, has yet to perform. That is called as a unilateral contract. Then what is the bilateral? Exactly opposite of the unilateral. A bilateral contract is one in which the obligation on both the parties to the contract is outstanding, yet to perform. Both the parties yet not performed their respective performances. Are you getting? This is called as a outstanding. Still it is happening in future. So such contracts are called as a bilateral contract. Bilateral contract. You can generate, means here in the outstanding obligation means what? Both the parties to the contract, yet not have performed their respective part of performances. In future they may perform. The contractor, okay, or you can say builder, who is promised to give the possession of the flat in next year, and the person who want to purchase that flat is promising to pay the cost of that particular flat in the next year. Both the parties have yet not performed their performances. The performance will take place in future. Are you getting? So other contracts, contingent contract means what? Contingency means there is the condition. Contingence means what? There is a condition. This is that contract in which a promise is conditional and the contract shall be performed only on the happening of a particular event, happening of a particular circumstances. If that circumstances is not happened, if that event is not happened, so it is not binding on the party to pay the promise or to keep the promise. Are you getting? That is called as a contingent contract. For example, A contracts to pay B, or A promises to pay B rupees 10,000 if B's house is burnt. A promised to pay 10,000 to B if B's house is burnt. So burning of that house is conditional. If the B's house is not burnt, not necessary to pay the 10,000 rupees. So such contracts are called as a contingent contract. Another example, A agrees to pay B a sum of 10,000 rupees if a certain ship means jahaz, we can say, ship doesn't return, the ship is sunk in the high seas, then obviously the contract can be enforced when the ship sinks. If the ship is reached to the coast, no need to pay any compensation, especially just go to the general insurance. Okay, these people deal commercial people, they take the insurance, general insurance. If the ship reached to the coast, no need to pay any money from the company. But if the ship sunk into the high seas, then definitely the contract, the company with which the party has already contracted, that is binding to pay the money. So such contingency of the contract is depends upon happening or non-happening of a particular event, happening or a non-happening of a particular event. So these are all types according to Indian Contract Act. But all this contract of record, specialty contract and simple contracts, which are explained in the English mercantile law, that we will see. Contract of record means what? A contract of record is one which is taken on records of the court. Suppose a judgment given by the court. Okay, if the court, the case is just going on, proceedings are over, evidences are checked, examined, everything, and the court has given one judgment. Okay, the parties, both the parties who have to perform their performances, that contract is already on the record with the judge. So both the parties are obliged, both the parties have to perform their performances which are ordered by the court. So such contract are called as a contract of record. The next comes specialty contract. It is a contract which is in the writing, signed by the parties, sealed, delivered by the parties, because those are the special contracts. Especially when we go to the shop and we purchase the book, do you enter into the contract? Yes, you enter into the contract. But is there any writing agreement? Is there any sign of the parties, seller and the buyer? Is there any sign, seal? No. But those are the simple contracts, we can say. But specialty contracts, especially those are related to immovable properties like home, land, agricultural land, plot, or use price having. So such are in writing, sign and seal. So obviously those are called as a specialty contract. And the next comes simple contract. The simple contract is one which is not under seal. So daily routines contracts are all called as a simple contracts. Those are not require any writing. Those are not required any sign. Those are not require any seal. Okay. So here then also the parties are binding. The parties have the consideration. Consideration should be there. If I am purchasing, definitely I am paying the price. So both the parties are getting the consideration. So simple contracts are also, they must have all the essentialities of the contract, but simple contracts doesn't need any sign, seal, or in writing. Oral words are also sufficient. Okay. So these are all the classification of the contracts which have today we have learned on the basis of validity, on the basis of, we can say, formation, on the basis of, again, different, you can say, performance of the parties and other contracts. So thank you very much for watching ND's coaching. Thank you very much. Keep on watching all the knowledge you need. Thank you very much. If you have any queries, please just write in the comment box. Definitely in the next lecture, I will clarify everything.